This is the Commute podcast.
Talking about the game, going to the game.
Mikey, we're up and running. Another podcast.
Yeah, let's do it.
Here we are. So, of course, this is the Commute podcast. We are recording live from the home office. We know our real podcast studio is in the van on the way to the game, talking about the game.
But we've got 3 months till the season starts, so...
Yeah, but June gets you starting to think about football even more. You know, every month we get a little bit closer to the end of the summer, you know.
And summer hasn't even officially started yet.
Yes. So we are recording this, what's today? June 10th. So kind of in that point of the season where, you know, there's not a whole lot of things to talk about unless you're signing players and trading for players like the Rams.
Yeah, but we haven't been making a whole lot of splash moves.
Myles Garrett did say, I seen a video out that Tunsil was one of his biggest challenges from last season, and we got them on the schedule this year, the Rams, earlier in the season. Is it like one of our first 6 weeks?
I think so.
Well, it's so funny how we spend so much time talking about this and then it slips our mind right away.
Hey, you know, you get done with one episode, you move on.
I wish we could just...
There's only so much bandwidth.
Right. So, the kind of the agenda... Let me grab my book here, my notes. The agenda for the podcast, I want to get into a variety of different things, and we've got a lot of sound bites and stuff, but the OTAs are just closing up for a little bit, but
yep.
But they had microphones and cameras in all these players' faces, so we've got tons of comments and takes on their interviews and stuff like that, but we're going to get started with our new instant replay segment. And then after that, I dove deep into Aiyuk.
Okay, cool.
Everybody kind of knows about Brandon Aiyuk. Everybody kind of gets that there's a connection, but I went through the whole thing because I kind of forgot, why is he even available? Why are you even talking about him? So I dove back and kind of looked into it all, and then we'll kind of figure out, we'll be able to put out there on the pod, our opinion on that.
Yeah.
And then our depth check segment of the pod, we're going to talk about our running back room, which I'm really excited about. What about you?
I mean, there's some good options there. It's a full room. We'll get into it.
A lot of unproven potential.
Yeah.
Is that a good way to put it? Nobody's a stud, but there's a lot of guys that's well, maybe they'll work out with us because we got some
unproven is the key word.
Yeah. And then we'll kind of finish up quarter four like we typically do with a hodgepodge of a lot of different things. One of which I want to talk about specifically that you won't care about, but maybe some of our other listeners will, is the big UFC Freedom 250 event that's happening this weekend. So,
right. Viva la Trump. Got it.
Yes. So that's kind of the agenda for the podcast, but let's get right into our brand new segment called Instant Replay.
Let's see that in an instant replay.
So, we've kind of needed this segment because God knows we say all sorts of stuff on here that just goes unchecked.
Yes.
Right.
And there are some people that are making it their job to check us.
Hey, I appreciate it. We need that for us. And by all means, blow up the comments section. You guys, if we say something incorrect, put it in, and we'll shout you out. But specifically our boy Tom, if you're a longtime listener, a loyal listener, you know my buddy Tom and how he listens and how we do our can't lose locks. He's always involved with that. But Tom listens to every pod, and he gave us a text message with a bunch of little notes.
Yes.
Little notes.
He did indeed.
One of the things that he said was that there was a 0% chance that the preseason game, Washington versus Baltimore, would be $17, which is what I said. I said I want to go to that game. It's an away game.
Yeah, and I told you it was $17.
I said, yeah, we'll pay the $17 to go to that game. So Tom thought that was crazy without getting on StubHub or SeatGeek or Fan or whatever.
Correct.
What are they, Mike?
Without getting?
I didn't check when I said that or you said that. I forget which one of us said $17.
Well, when I told you the $17, and I looked earlier that day, but as
you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
But as Tom put in his critique,
0%.
that was without the fees. So when you add the fees, God forbid, that probably adds like $3.
Well, I would have to assume between now and the end of August, whenever that game is, that the tickets might drop a couple bucks. Because now in the ballpark.
Because now I think without fees, it went out tremendously. I think it's up to about $20 or something as of a couple of days ago. I'll have to check the text message.
Yeah. The other thing that he said, which wasn't really a correction or if we were factually wrong or anything, but his input is that Antonio Williams is better than Jaylin Lane, which I kind of compared them together, but Tom seems to think that the rookie is a lot better. He knows a lot more about college guys. The rookie guys coming in every year.
So I'll defer to him on that.
Yep, sure.
I'll give him his kudos.
Sure. Now, he did say Jahan Dotson signed with Atlanta way long ago, or forever ago, I think is what he said. Well, I looked that up. And I forget maybe we didn't even know where Jahan Dotson signed or if he had signed anywhere. But, yeah, he signed with Atlanta on March 12th. So forgive me for not knowing.
Okay, that was 3 months ago.
So maybe forever ago, but I didn't know where he signed off the top of the dome. So, whatever.
The dizzying heights of the more high ground.
I'll give you one thing that he was way wrong with and one thing that he was definitely way right with.
Okay.
He said that we should have made the jump to the Ravens in 96. Now, obviously, he's a Ravens fan.
Yeah, so he's biased.
But also, shame on him for advocating for jumping to different teams.
Yeah.
Who does that?
Because he's pretty tried.
But then again,
Baltimore.
You do advocate for that if it's your team. You come over to my team. So I guess it's neither here nor there. But I disagree with that. We should have made.
Yeah, we made that perfectly clear in the last episode.
Now, what he was totally right with, and this is more of a direct reflection on you, Michael. And I'm sorry, but 8 plus 9 does not equal 9 plus 7. They are in fact different. It's crazy because both math equations involve a similar number, 9, and so 8 plus 9, 9 plus 7. When they went from 16 games to 17 games, I think it's still messing with a lot of people's heads. Yours and mine included.
Yeah.
So, thank you, Tom.
We were wrong. We were wrong, and we apologize.
Well, I wasn't wrong. You were wrong. I was trying to set you up to say, "Are you sure it's?" I was giving you the softball. I'm sorry. I meant to say it, but you just didn't pick up. No big deal.
That was last episode. I was wrong. I apologize. Let's move on. I don't hold grudges. Okay.
Right. Now, Tom, we appreciate you kickstarting the instant replay segment for us, and by all means, we encourage all of our listeners to.
Yeah, can't wait to see how he tears this episode apart.
Yeah,
let's stay tuned.
We'll see. We shall see.
On bated breath, we wait.
And I will say this. He can't be correcting this segment because what goes in this segment can't be, he can't be correcting this. Right. It's just going to be a never-ending thing.
Yeah. Nobody has time for that.
Yeah, ain't nobody got time for that. All right. So, next thing, and for a lot of you guys out there, I think, are probably exhausted with the Brandon Aiyuk conversation, but
he keeps adding to it.
Fast forward if you don't want to hear our second quarter of the podcast and the Brandon Aiyuk saga. But let me go ahead and kind of give you
give us the TikTok.
I think you're a little bit behind the times on maybe some of this stuff as well. So basically, in a nutshell, Brandon Aiyuk and Jayden Daniels played together for the Arizona State Sun Devils in college. This was before Jayden Daniels went to LSU, right?
I knew that.
They became close friends there. So that is none of this makes any sense. You got to acknowledge the fact that they're buddies, right? Now, he in 2024 played a great season, 75 catches, 1,300 yards, 7 touchdowns, second team All-Pro, right? And then just before that season, got his contract extension, 4 years, $120 million contract.
And then he didn't play.
Big signing, right? Now, so that was 23. That's the contract that he played into in 24. Now, he got that extension before the 2024 season, and then in week 6 or 7 of the 2024 season, he tore his ACL and his MCL, right?
Right, and then he was out all of 25.
Right, so all of 24, he didn't do that, right? And now you think, right, you tear your ACL in the middle of one season. Similar to like Ertz or Eckler, right? They got those. It wasn't ACL, but
it was a similar
mid-season injury. You think by the time the next season rolls around, he'll be good to go, right? So there was reports through his injury that he wasn't rehabbing with the team doctors. He wasn't really showing up to certain things. He was just kind of doing his own thing through the rehabilitation.
Okay.
Which, everybody's got their own right to their own medical care. I guess you don't have to have a 40, but at the same time, you got to communicate with the team, right? So there was several disagreements about his recovery process from his perspective, their perspective, right or wrong. We're not here to debate that, right? But you come off of this contract extension, then you're not doing what the team's asking you to do. I mean, at the end of the day, they're your employer.
Right.
And so this went on through 24 and then into 25. And then throughout 25, the team was asked several times, how's he doing? When's he coming back? Da, 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 da.
Correct.
And they're kind of mums the wording it like we're expecting him back. It's going well. And then the timeline just keeps extending. And then it gets to a point. It's like, all right, something's going on. It's getting to the point where something is up. And then, because he should have been back. It took too long. And then...
Because there was speculation, if I recall correctly, that he may have come back at the end of last season or toward the end. They were maybe kind of expecting him to come back, but then, of course, that never materialized.
Right. So if it happens the injury happens in October of 24... you're kind of thinking that, a year, because that's about what the recovery process anymore takes. A lot of guys come back even sooner than that. But Adrian Peterson is historically known for, tearing his ACL, coming back exactly a year later, and then tearing the league back up. He was, the first guy to get one of these awesome ACL recovery processes. Mm-hmm. And ever since him, it seems like everybody's on that year.
But a year is, I think, like you said, is what's expected.
Right. But come at the end of that year, if you're still not around the team and then you've been disagreeing with team doctors the whole time. And so now the team's starting to have to do some things like void some of his guarantees that were in the back half of certain years of his contract and kind of stuff like that. And in December of 25, the team did their first official thing, and they put him on the reserve. It wasn't an injury list, but it's left this team, or it wasn't that you retired, but I forget what they had it classified. But basically he's not here. He's not hanging out here no more. And immediately all the trade rumors, it's all right, it's not the first time a team and a wide receiver didn't get along. We know what's going to happen. They're just going to part ways. Another team will work some kind of a deal out or whatever, and we're the first link. He starts posting stuff to Instagram. This is why it's all in the news lately. It's because he's like, what the heck is going on? Now, from the 49ers perspective, they're like, yeah, he comes with a little bit of baggage, but we're not just going to give him away for nothing.
But the speeding ticket video
Right.
from, I think, December.
So he starts making, no, I want to play for Washington. Everybody saw that in that last December or whatever, that he sped by the 49ers stadium going 100 miles an hour or whatever. We all saw that. Nothing came of it until now. Conveniently. Why does it take 6 months for that to come out when it's got millions of views online? What were they waiting for? I don't understand the timing aspect of all that.
Yeah, that's the question.
It doesn't make any sense to me. Because why wouldn't it have happened 2 months ago, 3 months ago, 4 months ago? I don't know.
But go on.
Anyway, all right. So now he's still making it known. I want to play for Washington. I want to play for Washington. And from Washington's perspective, we're kind of sitting there like, why should we trade for this guy and trade his current contract? Because we'd have to trade for his contract, because the player and the contract comes with it, and we don't want that contract. I don't want that contract. I wouldn't want that.
No.
Trade for him if we know that we're going to renegotiate, and this is what it's going to be. We do that, but don't trade for that contract. We can't afford that contract with a player with all that. And that's what the rest of the league is thinking too. And so we're also just kind of thinking, all right, well, like, he's made it known he wants to play for us. We'll just wait for the 49ers to release him, and then we'll just sign him for what we want to.
Yeah. It makes sense.
1 year, $7 million, 8, 9, 10, I don't know. He went for a 4 year to 120 to, I don't know what he's going to get now. I don't know what is deserving. Like, what would you be happy with? And this kind of gets into, that summarizes the whole saga here.
The money, I don't know, but I would say if they release him and you're not taking on the mega contract, it'll probably be a 2-year contract, like 1 year with a 1 year option type thing for whatever amount of money insert. It doesn't matter.
I mean, would you be okay?
I mean, if you're asking me, are we going to end up signing him? Yes. But would I be okay taking on his current mega contract? No. I don't.
Yeah, so
because
you're fine with,
because he's kind of unproven because he's been out for the last year and a half. So you know what you're signing, but really you don't know what you're signing. Because he's not. You could almost guarantee that he's not going to be the same player that he was essentially 2 years ago.
We don't know. We don't know. We know he's going to be good. We know we need a wide receiver too.
But I think we're still going to end up with him one way or the other for that exact reason. We need a wide receiver number 2. We can't just have Terry.
Right. And we talked about the wide receivers in last week's episode. So if you're curious about our take on the depth chart there and who makes the team and what everything looks like, by all means, go back and listen to that. But so from what I'm gathering from you, you're fine with signing Aiyuk as long as the contract is the right dollar figure and it doesn't really hurt us. And I agree. I don't really care. I mean, to in this league's day and age, to say like, now we're not going to sign a wide receiver because he's got some baggage. It's like
they all have baggage.
Yeah.
And if you
I
really
would prefer a 1 year deal. I want our next wide receiver too. And we went through the list of candidates, but I'd like a tier 1 guy that's available in free agency. And honestly, I would prefer a 1 year deal because I would like another guy that's on our team currently to break out and steal the wide receiver 2 spot. Because you can't expect Keenan Allen or Tyreek Hill or Stephon Diggs or Brandon Aiyuk to be around for that much longer anyway.
Correct.
So, yeah. Anyway, so that kind of wraps up the kind of tidies up our wide receiver conversation from last week and informs everybody that's unaware of the Brandon Aiyuk stuff. And by all means, he's got plenty of content out there on Instagram. Just tune in.
Yeah, he's he's putting it out there.
Yeah.
He's doing everything he can to get them to cut him as soon as humanly possible.
Yeah.
Cut/release, whatever verbiage you want to use. He wants out.
Right. So anyway, well, that wraps that up. Let's get into our third quarter, and we're kind of just flying by here today.
Yeah, that's okay.
Mike. Yeah, I'm cool with it. You know why? We're not really sipping back on our Jayden Daniels on the rocks like we typically do. I mean, we definitely are, but we ain't caking them back like we do. You know?
Correct. Yeah, we
It's
still
a school
have
night. Big school night. We got a big week ahead of us this week, personally. Anyway, let's get into our next segment, Death Check.
Depth check.
What do you see when you look at this group as a whole? What do you feel like you bring them?
Obviously, I think we loaded in the room. A lot of young talent with Rob and Kaytron. Obviously, Bill still being young. Older guys like me, kind of Jerome and J-Mac, we do a good job too. So I think the room is loaded, full of a lot of talent. I think we all do a lot of things well. We all got different styles. I think we all do a lot of things like every down to be very good. And I don't know. I just feel like I don't know. Like I just try to play my game, just try to be me. They look up to me in the aspect of like asking me questions and things like that. So I try to be there to help them. Only been in year 5. They look up at me as a veteran, and I mean, I still don't see it yet, and I don't want to look at it like that yet, but I'm glad they respect me and they can ask me anything and I give them the game.
Running backs.
Yeah,
I love a good running back. Who's your favorite Washington running back of your lifetime?
I mean, I almost kind of go back to Clinton. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like that was kind of the peak for us a little bit, at least in my lifetime. You know,
Yeah. I mean,
it was like we signed him. It was like, okay, we actually have a good running back, someone who can actually. And then, of course, when we had AP for a couple seasons, it was like,
that was fun watching him.
you know that
He did good.
Yeah. But those two, but Clinton especially, because it's like, wow, we've got a proven running back. We might actually like do something. Of course.
I always liked Alfred Morris too. He's just a soft-spoken, kind of a sweet guy, humble guy, and our scheme was perfect for his style in 2012 and 2013.
He was good for us. He wasn't so good when he went to Dallas and all of that.
No, but honestly, like hats off to a guy like him for putting together a decently long career.
But running backs are kind of like racehorses, you know. You have them for, I would say, 1 to 3 years. You literally run them into the ground, get the best out of them, and then, you know, out they go, and in comes the fresh crop.
Do you have a least favorite running back?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head, but since you brought it up, I'm sure you do.
No, honestly, it just kind of.
But they're so
Darius Geis.
But they're
Remember
so.
him?
No, I don't.
We drafted him pretty high. I forget which era,
But they're so interchangeable because they have such a short NFL lifespan on any team, not just ours.
Right. Well, let's get into our current running backs. And the order I'll kind of ramble them off here is kind of what I anticipate they're listed as on the starting roster as of right now. We've got of course our guy Bill, Jacory Croskey-Merritt.
Just call him Bill.
AKA Bill. And then Rachaad White, new guy.
Yeah.
We got Jerome Ford, new guy.
Yeah.
Jeremy McNichols, guy that's been around for us, guy that's been around for the league for a long time now. I didn't realize until I started kind doing our little homework for this segment, but he's 31 years old. He's been around for a long time and a lot of teams. Most of all practice squads, but a couple different practice squads. But producer for us in clutch moments. Then Kaytron Allen, our draft pick from this year from Penn State. And then Robert Henry Jr. is undrafted.
I didn't have him on my list.
Yeah, he's been at OTAs. He's there. He's there.
He won't be.
Well, we can get into that. So Bill is going to be kind of our featured guy. I mean, he's been featured in a lot of our media. He's on a lot of the signage, you know.
I mean, right now he's obviously the number one.
I feel like he put together a good season last year for a rookie. He made some rookie mistakes for sure. Some really costly fumbles in certain times. One that comes to mind is against the Bears. And it's not the Jayden Daniels fumble, but he had another fumble a couple drives before the big fumble that turned the game around. But yeah, of course I like Bill. Who doesn't like Bill? He's a patient runner, super athletic, quick. So he's going to be what we hope is our feature back. But
I mean, based off of that depth chart, I think it's clear that he is going to be the featured back.
do you have his stats?
I do. Last season he was 175 for 805 yards with 8 touchdowns, and had receiving wise he was 9 for 68.
9 for 68.
Yeah.
I'm rooting hard for a breakout in Bill, because like we were just saying, it's so much fun when the lead back on your team is a stud.
Yeah.
And
he certainly was that last year.
I mean, we had a rotational backfield last year for a variety of different reasons. I think we got Bill out there too fast, too soon. And the offense was trying to evolve, and it just couldn't with the rookie. Who's the next guy on your list?
I mean, I've got the same list that you do, but let's just go down. The number 2, I think it's Rachaad.
Yeah, Rachaad. He's a guy that, I mean, I'm excited to see what Rachaad and Jerome Ford look like in burgundy and gold. We're going to get to see them, I think, a lot in the preseason, and just to kind of see how our offense is going to look. There's a part of me, I don't know why I'm leaning this way, but I think it's just because Blau's last year as a player was in Detroit, and then we brought him over here as a coach. And the offense that they were running over there, I don't know why I feel like he was a fan of it, but how couldn't you have been a fan of it, right? It's the mentality. And so I'm curious if we're going to look at Bill like the Gibbs in the offense, and look at the other guys as more of a David Montgomery, who's now no longer with Detroit. God, Tom's going to eat him up for this. Where did he go? Montgomery. I think he went to Houston.
Sounds right, but I honestly don't know. He'll rake us over the coals for not knowing, and I'll just apologize in advance.
I did a mock draft the other day too, just because I know, like, doing a mock draft and seeing the names come through, you can kind of familiarize yourself with where certain guys have gone. But man, I forget where he went. But I know he ain't with Detroit no more. I'm curious where that's going to fill in, because that was an integral part of their offense. Not just Jared Goff doing so good, but their running backs were like a huge strength for Detroit. So I'm curious if, like, of Rachaad White and Jerome Ford. And honestly, I'm wondering if our rookie at a Penn State ends up being our David Montgomery. He's 6 foot, he's 220 pounds, kind of a downhill, rough tumble kind of a runner. He's a hard runner, which is kind of what Montgomery is. Whereas Gibbs is quicker and can move like from side to side down the field. Whereas I look at Bill's patience and I see the same thing. So I don't know. I'm excited to see where everything falls. Now, we re-signed McNichols because all of our running backs, except for Bill last year, were contract was up. We lost Rodriguez, and then obviously nobody has signed Eckler, but he's
still out there.
I'm sure somebody will sign him. He'll get a veteran minimum somewhere, and I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't produce a little bit in the right for the right team. But I think we brought back McNichols specifically because we have a guy who has been on practice squads. He's been on our practice squad and has been clutch for us coming in the middle of the season to fill in for injuries. And I think there's a lot of guys that probably get a little butthurt not being able to be in the starting roster, and they don't want to be in the practice squad, and that might be beneath me. I'll go to another team. Like, who will sign me? And they'll just go anywhere. But there's something to be said about a guy that doesn't mind grinding on the practice squad and waiting for his opportunity. And I think that's why we got McNichols. I don't think we would have signed Ford or White if they weren't going to make the team. Now, they don't have huge contracts.
No, but they are the veterans.
Both of those contracts are what?
Rachaad is a 1 year at $2 million, and Ford's practically the same thing. He's 1 year at 1.2. So,
yeah. And then, honestly, this Robert Henry guy, I know nothing about him.
Yeah, he didn't even show up on my research. So.
I mean, you always got to have another guy. And I am curious how many guys that we have on the active 53 or is it 54 now? I think is it 50? Doesn't matter. But I wonder how many running backs we're going to carry, 4 or 5. 4 is a lock. Definitely going to have 4. But if we have a 5th, who makes it? I think it's Bill. I think it's White. I think it's Ford. And I think it's Kaytron Allen because he's our rook. Maybe he starts on the practice squad, but I don't think so.
I don't necessarily disagree with that, but you still think McNichols doesn't make the team? He makes the practice squad?
I think that's why we re-signed him. Because why would we sign all these other guys if we were just gonna he's proven he can do what we want him to do. But
yeah, but if I'm looking at the stats from last year, I don't know. Ford didn't really do much. He was 24 for 73, and receiving he was 26 for 103. So,
he didn't have a huge role over there, but I don't know.
Now, granted, it was Cleveland, so it's Cleveland. You know how I feel about that. It's just check last season, but
right. But I do think that we're gonna have a rotation. I'd love it if it was a two-headed monster.
Oh, if this is the depth chart, and if it remains so, if they don't, cut anyone or make any other adjustments, I think it's clear it's going to be a by committee structure, because there's no true, for lack of a better word, true veteran standout that will automatically always be the number one, ground and pound. So it's going to be a by committee.
I which I don't mind, but what has been so frustrating to me in years past is like when you have that rotational running back room like that, and your running backs got different skill sets, and you see, all right, for example, Chris Thompson sitting next to the quarterback in shotgun on third down. You're kind of like, all right, we've seen this play. You can become very predictable when certain guys get in and certain packages, and
That's the negative.
and I don't like how predictable that becomes. For that 24 season with Kingsbury, I didn't think we looked predictable at all.
No.
But his offense did get a little bit stagnant. I don't think he was all to blame for why our offense struggled last year, but his play calling did get stagnant. But
and that's because
he has so many injuries.
It was exactly that. It was, after year one, he was pretty much doing the same thing, and with the injuries and stuff, it was predictable. Everybody knew. So, it was a double-headed monster of issues.
Yeah. But anyway, any other notes on the running backs you want to share?
Not that we haven't really covered. Like, we went through their stats, and we kind of already know what their contracts are, and it is what it is, unless they sign some splashy running back. But I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I don't see that happening either. I would be surprised if we end up signing a running back, unless of course one of these guys gets injured in the preseason. But it seems like the running backs that we've got are going to be the guys that come into the season. And but also, God, we really have a lot riding on Bill. I'm trying to wrap my head around it, but we are really depending on Bill a lot.
Yeah, and that's why I'm going to say this. Like, just looking at the depth chart as I did the other day when I started to do the research, honestly, it's kind of a weak point there. It could be like an Achilles heel to the team.
We're banking on a big step in production from Bill. And if that doesn't happen, then we're sitting here scratching our heads. But we'll be able to listen back to this conversation mid-season and kind of say, well, we said that it was a weak point, because there was times last year where I felt like, man, like they're taking the carries away from Bill a little bit, and we're depending on Rodriguez and McNichols and like Mariota and McCaffrey. It got to a point where it's just like it got too much last year. But I'm curious, obviously, always curious how this year will go. All right. Anything else on running backs?
I'm good.
Okay. Well, a big portion of the running back success obviously comes down to the offensive line. And the only guy that we really didn't really get back was Biotis Badass. I call him Badass. Tyler Badass. Where'd he go? Chargers?
Maybe.
I got to stop doing that.
Yeah,
I got to stop.
Tom's going to eat us alive.
I got to stop guessing on where these guys go. I know. All right. Where'd that guy go? I think he went to a West Coast team. I'm confident.
And Tom's going to,
it doesn't matter.
He's going to fillet your ass but not know.
But there is something to be said about the consistency of the offensive line that we got a couple guys coming back next week, or not next week, but our next podcast episode, we'll get into the offensive line for the depth check portion of the podcast, and we'll kind of just tease it with Nick Allegretti getting a microphone put in his face and his comments on the fact that it looks like we've got some consistency at that position.
And keeping the continuity on this offensive line, minus Biotis, everybody's back. What a benefit is that? Explain that everybody's back in their position and you're just going forward together.
I don't think that could really be overstated. It's very rare to have that many guys coming back into the room. Not just the 5 starting guys up front, but everybody that's in the room. I think we have. Foster did come back, but he was here with us last year. Brought the 2 rooks in who've been awesome. But just the trust that we have in each other. it continues to grow the more you play with each other. And I really can't overstate how important that is to offensive line play, to the point where you get to make less and less double team calls, 3-man calls, because you're on the same page. Everybody knows you go out there and you make a B call or a deuce call. A lot of those D linemen know what that means. So the less that you have to do that, the better you're able to keep the defense on their toes. You're on the same page without really even having to communicate. So huge that we are able to bring so many guys.
Yeah, so there's Nick Calgary, and while we were playing that, Mike and I were just sitting here talking about the defense, and man, you're right, they better be better than they were last year, because they were pathetic last year.
Yeah.
Man.
But anyway, that's what we're teasing for the next episode.
Yeah, because I want to talk about the defense a little bit. And we're going to end this podcast with Kinlaw's microphone moment from about a week and a half ago. PFT commentator for Barstool said that he uses the word shit like a comma. And that's how
Yeah, he did. He did.
So we'll finish the episode with that in case you didn't want to listen to that. We'll finish it with that. But anyway, so the fourth quarter here, we basically get into our hodgepodge section of the podcast. And basically, first things first, you're a Regal Crown Club member.
Yes.
Where you see unlimited movies in theaters.
Correct.
So since the last podcast, has there been a movie that stood out to you as a good one?
Let me pull out my list because I add to it each time
Yeah, I should have prepared you. While you're looking up your list, I mean, the Dutton Ranch, are you caught up on that?
Yes. Badass season.
Yeah.
Love.
You're all caught up?
Yeah.
So that last episode was, I think it was episode 5.
Yeah.
I had a twist in there I was not expecting.
I like where they're going. I mean, obviously we don't know where they're going, but I like where I think we're going.
Very curious. And then the boy, what's his boy's name? Carter?
Yeah.
Man, that boy is gonna...
He's teenaging it up, that's for sure.
He's getting himself into some trouble, man.
Yeah.
He better be careful. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And I did just have in the background, as background noise as I was doing some household chores the other day, I put on the Marshalls.
Okay.
It doesn't answer a couple things, and it's still in the Yellowstone universe.
But does it grab your attention?
Like
or
I
is
said, it's background noise. I didn't say
that's what I was, that's what I was going to say. Or is it truly?
There's a couple moments where I paid attention to, but for the most part, it's not as good. It's not the same caliber of show as Yellowstone or the Dutton Ranch. Dutton Ranch, like we talked about before, it feels like a continuation of Yellowstone.
Yeah,
Marshalls,
very much so.
Marshalls feels closer to, like, I don't know, Blue Bloods or NCIS or whatever these CBS shows are anymore.
Yeah, because well, like we were talking about a couple weeks ago or whatever, it's more of a procedural cop show than like a true Yellowstone.
They should have they could have called the show U.S. Marshals, and the fact that Casey Dutton is the main character, that's the only thing that ties it in.
Right, because it's just a cop drama. It's not like the Dutton Ranch where, yes, it's a spinoff, but it truly feels like a continuation of that story and that universe.
Yeah. All right, you got your movie list?
Yeah.
Anything good?
Well, I've seen 27 this year.
All right.
Through June.
Oh,
thus far in June.
Your yearly record, I know that was set in 2024. 60. That was 60?
Yeah. And 25, I don't know, it was around 50 something. It was a couple short. So, but anyway, the two most recent movies that I saw that I really enjoyed was Backrooms, which we kind of talked about off air.
Yeah.
Thought that was pretty good. And just the other night, I watched Power Ballad. That is the new movie with Paul Rudd and the one Jonas brother. That was
okay. I think I did see a trailer or a clip or something.
that was a good movie.
Was it?
Paul Rudd did a fantastic job in that movie.
What's it about in a nutshell?
It's basically about Paul Rudd's character. He allegedly writes this pop song that this artist steals from him.
Oh, okay.
And the whole movie is really about, did he write the song? Did he come up with the song? Is it truly his, or does it belong to the pop star?
Right.
But it's a very good movie.
All right. Okay. I'll look out for it. What's still top of your list for this year?
Hail Mary still number one.
It was good. I saw that.
Did you finally get around to it?
I enjoyed it. I had a free rental on Prime, so I used it on that.
Yeah, that's still my number one.
It was good. It's definitely different. I feel like there was a Adam Sandler movie that came out like 2 or 3 years ago on Netflix where he was in space. The concept of that movie was very similar to me.
Yeah, I think I kind of know what you're talking about, but I don't.
But this one was way better than the Adam Sandler version.
Yeah,
whatever that one was. But all right. The UFC 250 Freedom event that's happening this Sunday on the White House lawn.
Isn't it exciting?
Isn't it crazy? I am a UFC fan.
It's almost a shame the ballroom wasn't built. They could have just done it in there.
It is crazy to me that this event is actually happening.
I know.
It is odd that there's an octagon in the White House lawn. I can admit to that and still be a fan of everything that's happening. It is weird, but I dig it. Now, what's weirder is that Saturday, Travis Pastrana is jumping a dirt bike over the south lawn.
I did not know that.
Brought to you by Nitro Circus. So, what do you think is more unusual? The octagon in the front lawn or the dirt bike ramp in the south lawn?
The dirt bike. Jesus God.
I am a huge fan of the 250 events that are taking place and all the celebration and the patriotism that comes with it, and how DC's being taken over with all these types of things. I love it all, but it's getting to a point where
it's like we're living in that. What's that movie?
My buddy joked the other day that next year he's bringing back Celebrity Deathmatch in real life.
Yeah, it's like we're living that movie. What is it?
Idiocracy.
Yeah, Idiocracy, and it's like, what was the drink in there? Like Booty Sweat or something like that?
No, that's Tropic Thunder. What was the drink in?
There was a drink.
Had electrolytes.
Yeah,
it had electrolytes.
Yeah,
it was like a Gatorade.
But it's like that's what's missing from this, Trump America 250 event.
What are you talking about? We got Logan Paul's Prime everywhere. It's basically the same drink.
Yeah, that's true.
And people are literally walking around in Crocs. Crocs got introduced by that movie, Idiocracy.
I hate those shoes.
Yeah, but I am a UFC fan, and just putting it out there, if anybody's curious what I think about the fights, I'm just going to put it out. I'm not going to deep dive into each matchup or anything, but here's my picks, and I'm not deviating off of this. I'm going Lopes. I always want to say Lopez, but it's not. It's Lopes. And then I got Bo Nickel. Then I've got Ruffy. I've got Hockett. I got O'Malley. I'm taking Pereira and Topuria. Topora. Or what's the fish?
I think it's tempura.
Oh, no. Tilapia.
Oh, wow.
No, tempura. Yeah, you're right. No, but the fighter's name is Topuria. But He's from Spain. He's a Commanders fan, by the way. He was in all the stuff for last year's Spain game. He was one of their celebrities promoting that. But that dude is bad. He's one of the baddest dudes on the planet. All these guys could kick pretty much 99.9% of the world's ass.
No doubt. I'm not questioning that.
Yeah, nor should you. If you ever come across with anybody with cauliflower ear, go down the next aisle. These are bad dudes. But yeah, I'm sure you get to see them on CBS on the White House lawn this Sunday night at 8 p.m.
I'll probably tune in.
You have to. You have to. It's going to be an historic event. I'm curious how it's all going to look, the camera angles and all that stuff. And if it rains, very curious.
It's not supposed to rain, I don't think. It's supposed to be pretty warm this weekend.
You'll see, but I'm curious about the bugs. There's a lot of things I'm curious about, and I'm sure all the things I'm curious about are going to be non-factors, and the event will go on without a hitch. But hard tell. Got to tune in. We shall see. Last thing on my list here, and you're more than welcome to add to the fourth quarter here, Michael. But we are going back. We are going back to the field.
Well, it hasn't been. I don't think it's been confirmed.
Well, we don't have the tickets yet.
I didn't know we were making that public knowledge.
Well, I am. I got that text message and to send it over immediately this week that the Salisbury alumni game is week 3, right?
It's our home opener.
It's our home opener against the Giants. And they're letting the Salisbury alumni go on the field for the national anthem and hold the gigantic flag.
We need someone to sign us up for it again.
Well, yeah, because we're not Salisbury alum, but we partake.
What are you talking about? I am. I graduated in whatever year you tell me.
Right. No, I mean, the Salisbury alum gets +1s for their friends and family. So, yeah, we always get invited to that alumni game. We should figure out what other types of organizations are doing that type of stuff and find friends.
We need to find out if they're selling a T-shirt like they did last season and get that shit reserved.
Yeah, what was that shirt? It
there
was all Let It Fucking Rip.
Yeah, it was a Dan Quinn Let It Rip shirt.
Yeah. Oh, I was thinking about our Command the Commute hats this year. You know what I think I want? I want gold hats with a burgundy rope.
Oh.
What do you think?
That'd be an attention grabber.
Yeah. That's where I'm leaning. But I like the rope hats. They're slick looking.
Yeah. But I do have something to add in the fourth quarter, and then we can, take this thing home. Year-end merch sales for 2025-26. I have the top 10 earners. Now, this is just for officially licensed merchandise. It doesn't include personal endorsements, stuff like that.
Right, like from the NFL shop or from the team stores and the websites affiliated with the NFL. They're their own personal statistics. But this is a pretty strong indicator as where those secondary markets are headed to.
Yeah, I thought it was I've got the top 10. I thought it was a pretty interesting top 10.
Yeah, give me the rundown. Let's hear it. I'm curious.
We'll go in reverse order. We'll go 10.
Before you give me this, because
we'll go 10 to 1.
Yeah, and before you give me this list, does this list include rookies that have just been drafted?
It includes top earners, so it could be.
No, because I'm trying to come up with a list of who's going to be on this list in my head, but I'm curious. Okay, so the new rookie class is incorporated onto this. So, all right, give it to me from 10 to 1.
10 is Micah Parsons. 9 is Jordan Love. 8 is Caleb Williams. 7 is Jalen Hurts. 6 is Mahomes.
Okay.
5 is our guy JD.
Okay. All
right. 4 is Jackson Smith-Njigba.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
3 is Saquon.
All right.
2 is Drake May,
Okay.
fresh off his Super Bowl appearance. And number 1 is the tried and true Josh Allen.
All right. I was like, am I surprised by Parsons? No, not.
I was kind of surprised by that. I'll be honest.
I think I'm more surprised with Jordan Love, but Packers fans are everywhere. It seems like
Yeah.
it's one of those Midwest teams where but you can still find Packer fans pretty much everywhere.
And somehow I honestly thought Mahomes would be a little higher on the list just because it's Mahomes and he's the darling of the league, and has been for a couple years now. I kind of thought he'd be a little higher on the list. But as much as I was surprised by Parsons, I was really surprised by Drake May.
Yes and no. You give a slight edge with those stats to younger players who perform well, right? Because like with Mahomes, people have been buying his jersey for years.
Right.
And so the fact
and
that
it's not like they've come out with a new jersey combination.
No. It just goes to show that people are buying duplicates.
Yeah.
I need a red and a white. But with Drake May, and the same thing with Jackson Smith, you make Super Bowl, your people are going to be scooping up your jersey.
Now that's one thing I don't do. I can't speak for you, but I don't buy duplicate jerseys. I pick the scheme of the jersey that I want in that player, whatever it is.
So this brings up a good question here, and we'll finish with this. So I agree. I mean, unless, I don't know, it depends on the team that you have, because I have a specific criteria for jerseys that you purchase.
Yeah, you're very specific. You have a very specific criteria.
Yeah, well, my criteria with buying a jersey is, one, you hope that they're on their second contract. Because if they're on their second contract, then they'll be known with that team forever,
Right.
Their rookie deal was 4 years. You sign them to another 3 or 4 year deal. They spend 7-8 years with the team. They'll always be known with that team. You know what I mean? They're locked in. So it's a safe bet, because 10 years from now, you could still wear that player's jersey. For instance, I've got a Kerrigan jersey. He was the perfect jersey to get. As soon as he signed that second deal, get me that Kerrigan jersey, because I'll be able to wear it forever. Cooley. I got a Cooley jersey. Same deal. Now, Sean Taylor doesn't fit the bill just because of the unfortunate events of his life, but Sean Taylor is a jersey, boom. As long as they're always going to be known.
In the time that he was with us, I mean, he made an impact outside of the unfortunate events that I agree make his jersey warranted outside of the unfortunate events that occurred.
Right.
He made enough of an impact where you can't go wrong
because
not having that jersey.
Right. So I like the jersey of the player that signed their second contract deal, right? For those reasons. So that's like my ideal criteria. And then I've broken the rule because, and the reason why I break the rule is for a rookie that performs well, right? Yeah. So we drafted him, performs well, boom, I'm buying his jersey. I want it. He's going to be here forever. He's our savior, right?
Right.
You buy his jersey, and then you hope that they sign that second deal, because if they don't, then they're just a bust, right?
Yeah.
So, and then it's like, now you're just the guy walking around in a Chase Young jersey.
Guilty.
Right. And I don't have a Chase Young jersey, but I do have a RG3 jersey, which I don't think is quite the same as a Chase Young jersey walking around. You know what I mean?
No.
Griffin is part of our history. Whereas Chase Young was a Washington bust. You can't call his career a bust because I think he's actually, he might end up with a pretty decent career when it's all said and done. Now, was it number 2 overall pick career? No, because we were hoping that he was going to be the new Bosa or
because if it were going to be that number 2, we would have signed him to that second contract.
Yeah. But whose jersey you buying this year?
I honestly don't know. I mean, I do,
because I already have a McLaurin jersey.
As we've already talked, I do love the new black jerseys, but right now I don't know if there is a player that I need to have. I don't know, because I already have a JD jersey, so I don't need another one of those. Because we got those in the throwback uniform last year, the white throwback. But right now, no, I don't think there is a player right this minute that I need to get.
Now, I would like to see him play first, but I would get a Styles jersey if he plays really well. If he plays really well in this first year and gets defensive rookie of the year or is in the running for it and plays all the games.
Well, yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean? But then you run the risk of him becoming the Chase Young jersey.
Right.
But man, I didn't see
right now, this minute, no, there's no one that I need to buy a jersey for.
I would lean towards Styles. I'm leaning towards there's part of me that I'm a fan of Luvu. So a number 4 Luvu jersey, I think, would be pretty cool. But how long are you gonna wear it? I don't know. But he's been around now. This is his 3rd year. So,
and it's
Croskey-Merritt, a Croskey-Merritt jersey. It seems like too many letters on the back of my bag.
No, and for the same reason, I'm a big McCaffrey guy. I wouldn't get his jersey because, at least not yet, because
if he signs that second deal with us, you would.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. But right now, no, because they really haven't given him the opportunity, and he hasn't shown what he could do that makes it worth getting a jersey.
Yeah.
If all that makes sense.
Yeah. Of the free agents we just got,
because you're high on someone doesn't mean that they're jersey worthy, which is the whole basis of the conversation.
Yeah, I gotta be a fan of their play on the field first and foremost, and then after that, but at the end of the day, you just want to feel for whatever reason, if I wanted to wear this jersey 10 years from now, I want that option. So you got to have to pick a selective player, because there's a bunch of dumb fucks out there that picked up a Hainsworth jersey as soon as we signed him,
and for the whole purpose of the conversation, yes, I have a Chase Young jersey, but on game day when I'm deciding what jersey I want to wear, that's the last one in the rotation that I would choose.
Yeah.
I would choose every other.
99?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would choose, quite frankly, any other jersey that I have before I choose.
And all the reasons we're mentioning right now is why you can get a Deebo Samuels jersey at the Dick's Outlet right now for $15.
Yeah.
And that's
there's a plethora of them. It's been a couple of weeks since I've done a drop by there, but there's an abundance for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. What do you think? You think this is a podcast?
Yeah, I think so. I think we can wrap this up and wait patiently for Tom's critiques.
Yeah, and then our next podcast. So in the off season here, we've been pacing out for once a month. And
we're just going to do it whenever it feels appropriate.
I will say, if we sign a wide receiver, then that we'll have things to say.
Yeah.
In which case, we might jump onto a podcast a little bit earlier. But until that next time, it's just Mike and I counting down the days when our Command the Commute podcast can hit the road again on the way to our next game. So we appreciate all of you guys listening. Feel free to partake in the instant replay segment of the podcast and give us your corrections or your critique, or by all means, give us an excuse to add a new segment. Just give us some fan mail. Tell us who you are, where you're listening from, what you agree or disagree with. But we appreciate you all listening, and we will talk to you next time. Hail to the Redskins.
Give me a hell yeah! I said give me a hell yeah!
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.